I'm curious, like, what your pre-race routine is in terms of, like, food and what you do the night before even, and then during your race, do you take a feed?
Yes. So it is so different than pool swimming, and I think there are things that happen in open water that would like confuse pool swimmers to the core. But I guess the night before, or like the day before the 10K, we always say like Ashley touched on, I joke about it being the best day ever because you get to literally sit down and do nothing. Like it's so fun. I think, I usually, like, swim the course in the morning, and then in the afternoon, I'll do, like, a 5 or 10-minute, like, pool swim, at the hotel. So I'll usually just find, like, the hotel pool and just swim some laps just to kinda, like, get a feel for the stroke, I guess. But other than that, I, like, do some facials and, like, paint my nails, like, really just, like, chill. So it's so fun. And then, I just get a good night's sleep, and, in the morning, I'll eat breakfast. Usually it's, like, lighter, and sometimes, like, I have a video of myself before the Olympic race, like, really choking down my food because it's, like, a little like, the nerves kind of, like, get to you, and you're like, "Oh, I don't really know if I wanna eat this right now," but, so usually I'll have, like, oatmeal and, like, some eggs or something like that just to make sure that I'm getting, like, basic nutrients and just get fueled for the race. I also, like, love those Bobos bars, I think those are great, so sometimes I'll have that, like, an hour or, like, 45 minutes before the race just to kinda make sure that I'm, like, nice and filled, right before I dive in. And yeah, so I prepare my feeds the day before. Usually the feeds will have like caffeine and some sort of carbohydrate in it. I usually feed around 2 times a race. And by feed, it means my coach is standing on a pontoon with a big long stick, and at the end of the stick is a cup holder, and that cup holder has a water bottle in it, and that has my feed. So it's not actually food, it's liquid. And so I'll like stop by the feeding station twice during an open water race usually.
I'm glad you described that because that was where I was gonna go next. Is we're talking about feeding as though you like stop and have a sandwich. Like
Yeah,
you're
that's what a
going
lot of
on
people
your
think it
back,
is.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
squeezing the water. So yeah,
yeah,
describe the like mechanics of a feed to people that don't know because I think it sounds you because you just said you stopped by the feed station. Like
yeah,
it is very much not a stop. It is
yeah,
like
you're right.
the
You're
most
right.
chaos.
Yeah.
So yeah, for everybody that doesn't know, can you describe what going into that and getting out of that is like?
Yeah, I remember my family members watching it for the first time and they're like, "Oh my gosh, like this is crazy." Because usually it's especially a lot of people feed in the early parts of the race, so it's very strategic. So most of the time it's 30 girls going in the same direction trying to grab a water bottle from like their coaches on the pontoon, and it is so packed. Usually, like I mean, I've seen people get feeds knocked out of their hand, and which is terrible because then they just have to like go through another basically 2.5K before they have another chance of getting a feed again. So basically, you go through, you swim by the pontoon, you grab the water bottle. I'll do a little bit of backstroke as I'm like actively drinking this Gatorade or whatever it is. And then you literally just throw the water bottle up in the air and you keep swimming. So it's so crazy because it's probably the most aggressive part of the race because everyone is trying to get in, get out as fast as possible. And that's why things like people getting like black eyes during the feed station or getting their feed knocked out of their hand is just really common.